Hey G, how are you?
I am doing so good. How are you, Rory?
Very well, very well. So talk
How's
to
the
me.
goat?
Didn't really
That's
want to get this off to a bad start, but it's all right. It's all right, bro. I can get you back for that. It's all right.
it's all
Nah,
good. It's all good.
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good. How are you?
I'm doing so good, man. I'm excited to see what this is about.
Let's go. So you're in the real world.
Yep.
How long have you been a student, Xavier?
I've been a student for just over 300 days. Looking at
Excellent.
303 days
303 days. And how many days of that have you logged on?
every day. I've not missed a day.
Cool. So let's talk about your journey inside the real world from where you started. So when you started the real world, what was the first steps you took into creating your own business and joining the campuses? How did you decide to which campus you wanted to join? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah. So I've always known that I wanted to do something that would make me geographically free and financially free.
Yeah.
And so I ended up joining the business campus because it was zero startup, zero skills, zero rich parents or whatever, and uh, and I kind of like the vibe of just how Arno teach. Like I like his sense of humor and how he teaches. So I joined in, and his first couple lessons are just making a logo, making a website, getting everything online, and I mean. I don't even know how to explain it. But before I knew it, I was just kind of throwing myself out there, and I was sending out outreach with no idea how to fulfill.
So you had no
and
direction. You had no direction.
there
Is that
was there was an idea of like learn how to get a client first and then learn how to do the work.
okay?
There was a
Okay.
strong push for that.
So Arno kind of helped you to condense the nonsense.
Yeah,
uh, make it real. So
yeah.
let's talk about that. So Arno is your professor, which means you're part of which campus?
The business campus,
Business campus, correct. And I've heard a
the
lot of
best
good things.
campus.
I, I don't want to say it's the best. I'm not. I don't want to be biased. I'm friends with a lot of the other professors, but I've heard very good things about Arno, and I like the way Arno works. So let's talk a bit about joining the campus. How easy was it to follow Arno's lessons? Maybe for the first couple of lessons, just making a logo. How easy was it to learn from him and follow his lessons?
It was extremely simple. With just following the lessons and using a little bit of AI, you'd have to be pretty stupid to not figure it out. It Yeah, they're really easy to follow. So
So, you say you'd have to be pretty stupid to not figure it out. Let's talk about the perspective from someone who's maybe not very not very
mhm.
techy, never
Yeah,
used the real world or the internet before. Do you think that these lessons are simplified enough for someone who's just joining with no knowledge to learn quickly?
absolutely. It's simple tools like Canva. He shows you how to go on to canva.com and make up a quick logo and then name cheap for domains and make a quick website.
Mhm.
It's super simple.
Excellent. So his lessons are easy to use. Let's talk a bit about Arno as a person himself. Can you tell me maybe three core principles Arno has taught you, or anything you've learned from him that you've implemented into your own business or
Yeah,
lifestyle?
um, I guess on business side of things, obviously, um, he when I first was going through the lessons, I went through the business in a box course, which is more angled at meta ads. And I landed my first client from it and totally sucked at it. But all the mistakes I learned allowed me to become pretty good at it. And so now I have a few clients in that area that are doing pretty well. But uh, basically skill based, right? So I have the local SEO um, and meta ads and building websites. That's mm, some skills that I've learned from the real world, and also just that I kind of had before, but they strengthened it.
Yeah.
Um, but also more on like a networking level, I've learned a lot about just so much about sales
Yeah.
and a lot about outreach and a lot about tonality in sales
Yeah.
calls and outreach. There's been a lot of yeah, a lot of ways of speaking that I've adapted from that.
Okay, cool. And do you know what? Speaking is a massive, massive skill to have in business. I mean, if you can speak and even socialize, that you'd be surprised how many people can't really socialize these days because they're stuck to a screen 24/7.
Yeah,
So it's nice. You're a breath of fresh air. You have good energy, so it's great to speak to someone like yourself, and I can see how you've been able to do that. But did he change your mindset at all when it comes to business? Did he change your lifestyle sort of way of thinking or
well,
anything
it,
personal?
I would say, but the second I made money, that was
Yeah.
the craziest eye opener of all time. That was like
Let's go through that, bro. I want to hear
Yeah.
this.
Well, because that was like, I mean, well, my first client was like my parents, but my first client that I had no idea. I met him at a comedy show, and we just started talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I do all this business consulting stuff, and I fly all the time." And I was like, "Oh, so you must have a lot of money." And I was like, "You want to get that in front of more people?" And so I started running his ads. And the first time I made money, it was the craziest eye opener because it was a 500 bucks a month client
Mhm.
USD, and all of a sudden I realized like this takes like this takes almost no like time to
Yeah,
do, but
yeah.
I'm making more. I mean, if you condense it down to the time, because everything is so hourly based in like the modern world, I guess. If I was theoretically making like 500 bucks an hour, it was ridiculous. It was insane, and I could do it from anywhere as long as I had my phone and an internet connection. Like I'm doing long distance with my girlfriend right now, and she's like 2 or 3 hour drive away. It's not far, but it's nice because I can go up there, and I'll usually go up there for a week, and then she'll come down here for a week or whatever. But I
Yeah.
can go up there and I can still work because I have a laptop and I have a phone, and I can. She'll go do her own thing, and I'll spend 8 hours in her backyard just
Yeah.
doing outreach and making money. It is insane. It's so cool.
Would you have believed that it was as easy to make money online if you hadn't have done it yourself through the real world?
No, definitely not. Well, kids, you see all these Instagram reels and you see all these TikToks, and everything looks so promising and everything looks so easy.
Mhm.
But actually doing it, I mean, the hard part is getting yourself to actually do it. But once you actually just send it, as Arno says, just blast. Like just do. You can just do things. It's actually crazy,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's immaculate what happens. It's so cool.
I love it. I love the energy, bro. So, you know, do you believe that, for example, the real world gives you a lot of the less nonsense, as I say, condense the nonsense? Do you believe that if you were to, I don't know, maybe try and learn sales on other platforms such as
Mhm.
YouTube or some other mentors, that you'd be given a lot of misinformation? Do you think that the real world is legit in what it teaches and legit in, keeping up to date with the latest technology and
Yeah.
techniques?
I once heard from a buddy that was in the real world and then left, and he had kind of claimed that the real world is basically a bunch of YouTube videos put together, right? So there's nothing that you can't find outside of the real world. But as a student of the real world who has found success in it, I would agree that it's basically just a bunch of YouTube videos put together, right? Like, but the plus is that one, if you have no idea what you're looking for, the real world has everything in one spot where you can learn everything and you can go through all these different ventures, right? But also the community. The community is a crazy part because if I have a question or someone else has a question, we go in the chats and we're all doing the same thing. We're
Yeah,
all working towards the same goal. We're all roughly doing the same kind of like we all roughly have the same problems. So as long as it's not like an orangutan question,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Someone's got an answer somewhere, and it's a good answer. And do you think that it's
yeah,
quite responsive in that sense?
I would definitely say. I mean, I would say I don't know, like 8 times out of 10, my question gets answered, and if it doesn't, it was probably a stupid question. So
Do you think that the community is one of the main advantages of the real world in terms
I,
that you're around, surrounded by a lot of like-minded people, and
I
you
think
can
that's a
get
huge
answers
part.
to your questions? You're not alone. Do you believe that that's one of the main perks of the real world?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part is being able to DM people and being able to just be in the chats, even just to witness it a little bit. You watch it, and at first I thought it was a little intimidating with having all these competitors that are doing exactly what I'm trying to do. But then you look at some of these challenges, like Arno did the November challenge,
Yeah.
and there was uh there was a reward where he was going to fly people out to Amsterdam for a war room event,
Okay.
and in the submissions there were like 3,000 people that actually watched the lives and 3,000 people that were actually involved in this, and like 14 people put in a submission.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where I'm like, you have this massive community, but there's actually no competition because so many people just watch and they like to consume, and it feels like accomplishment.
Yeah.
So little people actually decide to act on what they're seeing. You know?
So you've been in the real world now for 303 days. You've logged on every day,
Yeah.
right? Let's go through like your average day in the real world so we can give an idea to someone who isn't part of the real world or done it before, what they can expect. So let's start from waking up in the morning, what you do then, what you do in the real world, what you do in your business, and whatever. Let's go through an average day of Xavier.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, an average day. I aim to wake up around 5 a.m.
Okay.
Sometimes doesn't go to plan, but I aim to wake up around 5 a.m., go to the gym, come back. I'm a Christian, so I usually do some kind of Bible reading, devotional, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then I hop on the real world probably 7, 8 a.m. Um, by then, I usually have a couple hours before Arno does his daily lives.
Mhm.
So I'll usually do some form of fulfillment work. I'll work on a client, and I'll find something to do. If there's not a client to do fulfillment work on, then I'll send Facebook DMs because it's usually too early for people to cold call. They usually are angry. No coffee in the morning.
Not at 5 a.m., bro. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
want
no. Well, now it'd be like 7 or 8, but still, no morning coffee. Like everyone's, yeah.
no.
So,
Emails.
yeah, emails. So then I'll normally watch the live. I'll go through a few lessons if they're available, although I've gone through most of the business campus lessons.
Mhm.
Um, and then, yeah, I mean, most of the day is outreach. Most of my business time right now is spent trying to get more clients because I have a lot of time and I'm trying to find more fulfillment, you know? So
Okay.
I'm still in the early stages. I mean, I am making money, but it's still I'm trying to grow it still, you know. So most of my business time is spent on outreach.
We're going to go into that. We're going to go
Yeah.
into that. So let's talk a bit about, the value of the real world to you. What do you pay a month inside the real world?
I pay $50 a month. I was a first generation student, so
Cool. And what do you think it's worth per month to someone like yourself?
hmm.
Would you argue that it's value for money?
It's tricky because I mean it's kind of like I said, 3,000 people watching a live, 14 people act, right? So a part of me wants to say it is worth the $50 a month, and that is
Mhm.
a good value because so many people won't even do anything with it, and that's basically like 2 meals a day or 2 meals for a month.
Yep.
So it's totally worth the price.
And
I know
in
second
terms of
generation is 100,
monetization,
right?
yeah, but it did go up to 100. That's right, and that's because we gave a chance to everyone to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, so many professors can only handle so many students,
Mhm.
so it's like they have to get the balance right in the logistic terms of things, and that's fine. That's not our battle.
Yeah.
But let's talk about monetization. So obviously, you're paying $50 a month. What are you making back per month from being inside the real world?
Yeah, so I actually have made $300 since I made that little video.
Okay.
I don't know if you watched that or not, but I've made $5,900 total and I'm making 1,100 monthly.
Bro, that's nice. And that's recurring monthly?
Yeah, that's monthly recurring.
And how many
1,100.
clients have you got?
1,100. I think I have 5. One,
Five.
two. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I have 4 right now. One of them is paused.
Bro, four clients, recurring 1,100 a month, paying $50 a month.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy return of investment.
It's pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
you have to do something. You have to do something, you know. You can't just consume.
But this is the problem. A lot of people join the real world and they pay their $50 and they'll sit on their ass and do nothing.
Yeah.
And then what they'll say is, why haven't I made money? And it's like, well, no, that's not how the world
Yeah.
works. Like, we're here to show you how to make it. We're here to show you the easiest avenues and give you the guidance and advice in
Yeah.
starting an online business. We're not here to do the work for you. You
Well, and
know, So
if it was super easy, everyone would do it, right?
absolutely, absolutely. So you've got your four clients. You've how are you going to what's your plans from here? So you've got four clients. So you're going to scale that higher. You're going to spend more time in the real world learning and more less on the business, or are you going to spend more time on the business and less time on the real world? How are you planning to scale that?
I've been trying to spend more time on the business and a little less time in the real world, just because I again like I've gone through pretty much almost every lesson in the business campus. I haven't watched like all the lives, but I've gone through all of the main courses. I'm waiting for that week 4 to drop. I don't know how involved you are in the business campus, but there are some new lessons I'm waiting to drop. But I'm trying to spend more time on the business, more time cold calling, more time. I haven't had any success with cold email. I might just be
Okay,
bad at it, but I'm,
maybe go back to the professors and tell them that, and they might tell
yeah,
you what you're doing wrong. Like because I've actually heard a lot of success stories from cold emails. So I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe that's something you're doing. Maybe it's just not your clientele. Who
Yeah,
knows? But
I had talked with John from the Real Market. He does a lot of outreach, and I had talked with him, and I had set up. I had 2 domains, each of them with 2 inboxes, each inbox sending 15 emails a day, and I ran it for a month. Messed
Mhm.
with some different ad campaigns, but I just wasn't seeing a bunch of revenue from it. And I was at that point I was spending more than I was making, so I went ahead and I turned that off. The cold calls have been really good though, because with the cold emails I wasn't even getting any responses, let alone opens.
Yeah.
Where with the cold email or cold call, I'm immediately talking to someone. So even if they tell me to fuck off, like I'm still talking to someone, you know?
Absolutely. You're not getting no response. Like fuck
Yeah.
off, nothing. You know.
Yeah.
So
Well, and even a no gets me closer to a yes. A no
a-
is better than just nothing,
absolutely,
you know?
absolutely, and you know where you stand. You know,
It's all,
so it's good.
yeah.
It's
Well,
very
and
good.
it's feedback too, right? Like you learn what to say, you learn how to say whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and you learn that sometimes you need 99 fuck offs for one
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, so you learn that. You learn
Yeah.
like perseverance as well.
Yeah. Every no gets you closer to a
Let's talk
yes.
about the freedom of the real world because you mentioned having your laptop, being able to work anywhere you want, your long distance with your girlfriend. It works for you. So it's. Would you argue that it's give you a sense of freedom? And what is it that you did before the real world?
Yeah. So I mean, before I was pretty much hopping 9 to 5s all over. I at one point I worked for Pepsi. I don't know if you know what that is. It's
The drink, Pepsi.
yeah, the Pepsi drink
Oh,
company.
how do I not know what Pepsi is?
Well, dude, you'd be
What
surprised. You'd be
what planet
surprised.
to live on to not know what Pepsi is, G?
I have no idea, but when I say this, people look at me like I'm a wizard. They're like, what is this drink company you're talking about?" It's actually insane.
They're
So
going to be
I'm glad you have a brain. I'm glad you know about Pepsi. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, I used to work for
many.
Pepsi.
I've had many a Jack Daniels and Pepsi, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, many, many. So let's talk
Uh,
about your personal story. So you're in and out of 9 to 5s.
yeah.
What inspired you to join the real world?
Well, ever since I was, I mean, probably 10, I wanted to be a millionaire. And then like I've always loved the idea of being financially free. I've always hated the idea of a 9 to 5. And then, Andrew Tate starts spiking on social media and it's just like kind of psyoping you a little bit into break free, break free, break free from the matrix. And eventually I just got to a point where I was like, what do I have to lose? you know?
And this is the thing. Most young men have nothing to lose, and they're clutching onto this, this membership money with fear of
Hmm.
losing out on $50 if it doesn't go their way. When they'll
Yeah.
go and spend the same money on coffees or something so monotonous, mundane, and like you do it anyway. So it's strange. A lot of people are just scared to take the leap to even try.
Yeah.
So it's good, and a lot of people also believe that if anything's too good to be true, it usually is, which isn't the case if you do the work online.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd, I'd also believe that before the real world began, it was called Hustlers University, and Andrew had
Mhm.
a vision as well, and he worked relentlessly to get it to where it is today. So
Yeah, my buddy that joined when he said it was a bunch of YouTube videos, he joined when it was Hustlers University and then left.
yeah, yeah, and that's another thing I was going to say. It's developed in such a way that it's now so much better. Like the
Yeah,
software that the real world uses is now so much better to what it was when it began.
yeah,
Just like your business will be as you scale it up.
yeah.
So it's brilliant to see. So what's next for you then? So you're gonna spend more time in the business, spend less time in the real world. What made you join the real world? Just Andrew Tate's pure influence online?
Well, obviously the idea of being able to make money online and not needing to worry, I'd like to retire my parents and be able to never have to worry about rent or something stupid, like be able to
Of course,
get
yeah.
whatever car I want. Like I never want to have to worry about money. Like I love the idea that I could just walk into a car dealership, start
Mhm.
buying cars before the next guy runs out of money to buy coffee, like
Let's
I,
talk about that. Is there anything that you've bought to reward yourself from making money inside the real world? Is there anything that you've gone, do you know what? I've done all right this month. I'm going to buy this.
yeah. So I went to college for a year and then kind of decided it wasn't worth it. And that was before I joined the real world. But I had this crappy laptop from the college. And so that's kind of what I was doing work on for a little bit.
Yeah.
And since then, I bought my $2,000 PC setup, which is what I'm on right now. And
Sick.
then I bought a $600 gaming laptop, which is fun, but I use it mostly for work. I don't know if you can
Nice.
see the bag
Nice.
behind me,
No, it's cool.
but
It's cool. Yeah.
yeah, but
No,
it's really nice. But I basically wanted something where I'd be able to use it for a bit of fun, but also be able to run like a bunch of different things on it. And I mean, they're both impeccable, and I've made double the value that I paid for them. So
absolutely. And would you argue that the time that you spent on the real world has been much more valuable than time that you spent in a 9 to 5?
I would say yes, it's more valuable in the sense of how much I've learned and how much I'm able to do.
Yeah.
obviously, like when I worked at Pepsi, I was
Mhm.
working 60-hour weeks,
Yeah.
and I was making like $21 an hour. So I was
Okay.
probably pulling about $1,000 a week. Where right now
Yep.
I'm pulling $1,000 a month.
Yep. Yep.
So financially, no, but you also have to think that I'm scaling right now, right? And I'm completely working for myself. So if I want to go on a work trip, I can do that. It doesn't matter. I'm not working for anybody. And also, Pepsi isn't scalable, right? A 9 to 5 isn't scalable. You get to a certain point
Absolutely.
where it stops. Where this can be scaled as hard as I try. You know?
Absolutely. And do you feel that it's give you a sense of freedom? Like you haven't got to spend 60 hours in the Pepsi place now.
Yeah,
You know,
that sucks.
you're at home right now. Speaking to me. I don't know what the time is there right now. It's 4:30 in the afternoon here.
Yeah, it's about
You
10
know,
a.m.
10 a.m. Cool. So you haven't had to leave today to go
Yeah,
to somewhere and get told what to do. You're
yeah,
completely free in the sense of you're going to do what you want to do today. No one's going to tell you what, and it's going to be productive.
yeah,
So you've escaped that sort of that routine where you have to be up and out the door at a certain time, stuck in
yeah,
traffic, stressing to get somewhere. You've eliminated all that. I'd argue that the value in that itself is unmatched. I'll be honest, but
yeah.
I understand. But I don't believe that working a 60-hour week is actually healthy for you in terms of
Oh, yeah. Well, and
one.
that's what I was saying is the value. Like the things I've learned and the things I've been able to adapt is
Mm,
infinitely more valuable
yeah,
than that's 9 to 5. And for the 9 to 5, I was waking up at like 4 a.m., leaving at 4:30 in the morning,
yeah,
and then I was going and working 60-hour weeks. It was terrible. I hated it.
yeah, yeah. So, how long did it take you to get it to 1,100 a month? You've been in 303 days. How long did it take to get to that?
Yeah. So I mean, it's let me look. So first client I landed was 500 a month. He stayed on for a month and
Mhm.
then left because I kind of fumbled the ball a little bit. I was still learning.
Very honest. Yeah.
Um, let's see. I think yeah, November. So I would have what would I have made? My first money I would have made in August, and then exactly a month later, I landed the $500 a month client, so that would have been 700. But then
Yeah.
he dropped off, so it went down to 200, and then I closed the client on a one-time payment of $1,500,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then he signed on. I resold to him for management for $300 a month.
So you did actually start to make money quite quickly because
Yeah,
some of the students I get, they don't monetize till later on. So they learn a load of skills and it takes them a few months. Some like yourself start making money basically quite instantly. But
yeah,
some of the students have taken a while and then they've snowballed because they've gained more confidence as time has gone on.
yeah.
So, great, but let's ask me answer this question. What is your absolute favorite thing about the real world and why?
I think my favorite thing is, ooh, gosh, it's got to be either good morning or the checklist. 100%.
Okay.
It's got to be one of those. Which I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. So
Can you tell me your average sort of daily checklist?
yeah, I mean, I could. Let me
Get it
pull it.
up.
Yeah. So under my general tasks, I have spend time with pretty much my loved ones, right? Because Luke has a lesson about mixing family with work, and he has this idea of why can't family be work, right? So it's almost like just another task is
Yeah,
spending
yeah,
time with family or friends or whatever. I
yeah.
just consider that another task. So I have those on here, and then I have Fireblood. Oh, my tub's upstairs, but I have Fireblood, and
So you're supercharged every day, bro.
yeah,
It's good. It's good.
I have Fireblood, and then as far as actual business and stuff, I have Luke's go outside for 20 minutes and get sunlight. Good
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
And then I have watch 2 lessons. So usually it's some form of motivation or live call, and then watch the daily live call. So usually I watch an archive since I haven't watched all of them. There's hundreds to go through. So
Amazing, bro.
go to the
Amazing.
gym, post my top 3 tasks, which I actually do in a Discord channel that I made for myself, where I have all my clients as a different chat.
Okay.
But I put my top 3 tasks basically like if I don't do anything at all today, if I'm totally useless, I'm gonna be mad pissed if I don't get these 3 things done, you know?
Cool. And that's
So
a good way to look at things. It's a
yeah,
good
and
way.
then send outreach minimum of 10 outreaches. So whether it be 10 calls, 10 DMs, 10 emails, that's like a minimum line for me at least.
Hmm.
Arno's daily marketing task, although it's normally not daily, but I try to,
Hmm.
because he doesn't post them daily.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then I have mildly plan out tomorrow and create some form of business content, whether it be uh, some form of graphic or something for a client or a reel. So
Amazing, bro. How old are you, may I ask?
I'm 21. I'll be 22 in 3 months.
I knew you were young. I knew you were young. So you're
Yeah.
enjoying life, you're enjoying the journey, you're enjoying being able to have the freedom to do what you want, and you're enjoying the community that you have inside the real world as well.
Yeah. No, it is. It's so good.
Bro, that is amazing. Thank you so much for coming on today to speak to me. It's great to hear your story, bro. And when are you going to
Yeah.
get that first 5 grand month?
Huh?
When are you going to get that first 5 grand month?
Man, I tell you, the second I hit 3 grand a month,
Yeah.
I'm getting out of this house. I'm gonna get my own place, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be so good. I mean, gosh, I'm trying to scale it, man, as fast as possible. It's all about the outreach right now.
With your attitude and your energy, it's not going to take you long, my friend. Believe me. I'm proud of you. Well done. Keep going. Thank you
That's
so much for
awesome,
coming
man.
on. It's been an honor.
Yeah, it was awesome to talk to you, Rory. It's cool to actually see like or to actually talk to some of the people I see in the reels.
Yeah, bro. We're all human, you know. Everyone thinks like because we're in so many reels and YouTube videos, we're like
Yeah.
cartoons. They bump into us, and it's like they've met a cartoon. It's strange, but
Well, and you see all these, like, all these reels and this huge facade, and it's interesting because you hear people who actually meet you guys, and everyone's like, yeah, they're actually just like super normal or super nice.
yeah, bro. We're from Luton Town. You know, we're from Luton Town in England. It's a town struck by poverty. We grew up on the
Yeah.
streets. Like when we weren't born, like we weren't born business salesmen, funny guys on
Mhm.
YouTube, but just normal guys from a normal town. We just had that energy and had that vision and had that determination to get there. So
Yeah. Like
yeah, it's
Tate
great,
working at the TV place or whatever, selling
bro.
TV
I've had
ads.
every job in the world. Every job in the world. This is
Yeah.
by far my favorite. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
lovely.
What do you do right now?
I do a lot in the background in terms of market in the real world.
Mm.
I speak to Tate and Tristan a lot of the time about what's coming to the real world, and I speak to a
Mhm.
lot of professors. And my job is to basically get the word out that students are making money, that the real world is what we say it is, and yeah, I go around interviewing success stories like yourself.
Yeah. What do you know a lot about the tier 2 clearance that's kind of coming out?
Do you know what? I'm not allowed to speculate about what's coming up. I know a lot of things that are happening inside the real world that you yourself don't know, that
Yeah.
nobody knows, and I'm very excited for. So we're
Because I
gonna.
know the marketplace just came out, but I haven't found an area to actually get tier 2 client clearance yet. So
Okay,
I've seen these jobs being posted, and
it's coming.
I'm thinking about posting myself, but I haven't seen any of the areas. They all say coming soon. So
I'm not allowed to speculate, but all I'll say is we've got exciting stuff on the way, and honestly, I have real high hopes for what's coming. So
sweet,
yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. It's been lovely to meet you, Xavier.
awesome. Yeah, it was
Take
awesome
care.
to meet you, Rory.
Bye, G.
Have a good one.